In this video, we discuss how to live a life of significance. And I'm joined by author and CEO of Logically, Michelle Accardi. Welcome to How to Business. I'm Frederick Weiss, and in this video, we are joined by author and CEO of Logically, Michelle Accardi. Michelle, welcome to the show.
Thanks, Fred. It's so great to be on the show with you.
It's so great to have you, Michelle. It's really my honor. I've worked with you for such a long time, and you've provided such great guidance to me over the years, and I'm really thankful that I've had the opportunity to get to know you over the years. So thank you so much.
The pleasure is all mine. You've made me look good over the years. For your listeners who probably don't know, I had been the previous president of Star to Star, where Frederick worked, and just so honored and have seen such career growth for you as well. And it's awesome to be a guest on your podcast.
Thank you so much, Michelle. Appreciate that. So that brings me to, if you could provide the audience a little bit of information about you.
Sure. So I'm currently CEO of Logically, and we say Logically is your trusted IT ally. So we're a large managed service provider with over 11 locations across the US. And what really sets us apart from other managed service providers outside of the absolutely awesome people that we have in the company is our expertise in a few different areas of the business, essentially. We have one of the very few US-based managed SOCs. So we're very security focused, cybersecurity focused. We also have expertise at the highest level from a Microsoft and cloud transformation perspective. And then from a telecom perspective, we are experts in helping you reduce costs and get the most productivity out of your unified communications and internet providers.
Oh, that's excellent. I'm super excited to talk to you more about Logically. I'm sure we could talk about it for a while, so I'm really excited to get into the nook and crannies, if you will. But first, I want to get to our subject, which is how to live a life of significance. So let me start off here by saying I love the chapter that you wrote in the book, Significant Women, Leaders Reveal What Matters Most. It's honest, it's authentic, and you really put it out there, and you put it out there in a relatable way. I very, very much enjoyed reading this chapter. It's about overcoming obstacles in our lives. It's about the things that could either make us or break us, the things that provide these opportunities for us to grow stronger. I want to read one thing that you wrote here, which I really enjoy, which is change can be good, even if painful. After all, it's the irritation that makes the pearl, which, very, very, very true. So, we could look at everyone as a teacher, and we could look at our life experiences as where we could either choose to let life break us down or become stronger. So my question to you is, how did you choose to become stronger?
I think part of it was born into me, frankly. I'm a bit of a fighter, and I'm not going to just lay down easy on any challenge. So I can't say that there was something that made me strong and made me able to do those things other than God, frankly. But I will say that I think everyone can make conscious choices. And every time opportunities or challenges have come to me, I have chosen to see them as the opportunities versus as the challenges. And you own the voice and the story you tell yourself in your head. And I think people forget that sometimes we're our own worst enemy with that. So I just recommend that, remember that you're in charge of the talk track and the story you tell yourself. And if you want to tell yourself a story that this is the worst thing that's ever happened to you, and you want to get bogged down in that, then that's what you're going to experience. But if you tell yourself, gosh, this was a challenge, but, maybe it's going to open me up to a new opportunity, that's what you'll experience. You experience whatever you allow the story that you tell yourself in your mind to play.
Yeah, it's not so much that you're telling the universe what you want. I'm sure there's a little bit of that, sure, but it's you're actually you're acting out, you're living the life that you choose to live, right? If you want to have positivity, you could choose to look at things and be positive and make lemonade where there's lemons, right?
Yeah. Absolutely. For me, I can tell you that there have been various points in my life and my career where tragedy is, where things have happened that I could not control, and I could have taken those times to turn inward and um, not put myself out there to either find new love or new career opportunities, and or even family. So one of the things I talk about in the book is the fact that I've had multiple miscarriages, and so I was never able to have children myself. And but when I got the opportunity to fall in love with someone who had three children, and then he experienced tragedy, and they experienced tragedy in that their mother, that his ex-wife and the children's mother passed away, and I got thrust into the role of being a full-time step parent, really in the parenting role. I could have, said I'm going to run from this, but no, I embraced it. And you know what? Now those children are so core to who I am, and where I get my life's meaning. And then that brought other opportunity because people saw me being a good parent to them, and asked me to adopt babies. And so I got twin boys that now have enriched all of our lives. And some people might say, "Oh my gosh, that might be too much to take on." I went from 0 to 6 children in 7 years. So, but it's all been, in my eyes, great opportunity and growth for me as a human, and hopefully touches the lives of my children as well, and those that they interact with.
Well, yeah, sometimes it's you yourself need help in a way from a support system. And sometimes life provides that support system, family, friends, partner, adopting children. I'm sure they help you maybe even more than you help them, right? And which
They've given
which
me
brings me I'm
life
sorry, go ahead.
purpose. I would say they give me life purpose, Fred. I think that's the and for other people, look, children isn't aren't the answer for everyone, but for me, it gave my life a lot more meaning.
Yeah, I love that. Absolutely. I have a 7-year old and I understand how that works. It's an amazing experience. So this brings me to the part that I really want to get to here is the chapter that you wrote in the book, which the chapter is titled "Significance Happens When You're Helping Others." So can you describe the significance that you're referring to?
Yeah, well, for me, it really permeates all aspects of my life. So when it's come to my career, I'll start there. One of the things that I learned, I'll say relatively early on in my career, is that if you want to get the opportunity to share your ideas and thoughts around projects, that you have to be willing to go listen to other people and what they think, and help to promote their ideas and promote. And when you do that, all of a sudden you create a great support system for you around, where you're asked, you're invited to be part of um, exciting projects and career growth opportunities. And for me, that's what's happened on my career path. Is really, I started with, how can I help salespeople be more successful? How can I help to build better marketing plans? How can I build a strategy for a company by, again, helping others reach their own career development goals? So that's been my philosophy in my career. And then in life, the fact that I had helped other people reach certain goals, that other people began to look to me in my private life for leadership. As again, I gave the example of my stepchildren, being an active step parent when they faced tragedy, and that other people saw me being, and my husband, being active parents, and offering us the opportunity to adopt 3-month-old twins back in 2019. That's all came from me being of service to other people, that then people came to me to give me opportunity. So that's just how it's worked for me. And so I truly believe that if you act as a help to others, those people will be there to be a help to you in the future.
You're finding that meaning, that purpose. Would you say that's what's defining a life of significance?
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because it's not about what I do; it's about, you
Yeah.
know, it's about how I've helped others. Because you live on in the legacy you create by helping others. If the legacy, if you're not helping others, you don't leave a positive legacy behind. But I want people to 100 years after I'm gone to be able to say, oh, that person helped put me on this path, put my family, put that company, all because she put other people first. And I think that that's one of the things that uh, you know we're in a culture today where a lot of things are about, we want things right now. It's a me. I think the more that we can put the focus on how do we help other people, especially right now in the way the world is, with all the conflicts in the Ukraine and such. I mean, how we can help others and reach across, and I would say eliminate the divisiveness, because we all at the end of the day have certain human needs, for connection and for meaning. And if you can help people on their journey to find their own meaning, um, what better purpose can you have in life? What is more significant than that? I don't think very much is.
Well said. That's beautiful. Absolutely, couldn't agree more. Thank you so much for that. One of the other things I'd like to talk about, which I gravitated towards in the chapter, was when you wrote, "Life is what happens when you're making other plans." And I believe I've heard you talk about this a little bit on Michelle McBean's show, somewhat. But so you discuss your career and your career journey. You started off wanting to be a Broadway performer, and which I've heard your voice. You have a beautiful voice. I believe you
Thank
could still do it. Absolutely. I won't ask you for to sing anything at the moment.
you.
Um, although feel free. You moved to New York to chase your dreams, to be a singer. Then, obviously life presents obstacles, unforeseen things that happens when you're making plans, right? And then you use your skills to get into the technology industry. I love one of these things where you wrote about how you put something at the end of your resume where this is not a chain letter, but blah 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 blah, and
Yeah, but if you throw it away, you'll be missing out on $1 million opportunity. True story.
love that.
Yeah, but again, this is one of those areas where, again, I never had the intention to go into technology. I moved to New York to be an actress and a singer, and frankly, it I wound up realizing that that was a better avocation for me, than a job. And when I moved back to Florida, my parents rightfully told me to go get a job. And while I studied for my LSATs, because I had an undergrad in political science, and I was lucky enough to find a technology company that thought my spunky cover letter and resume was enough to give me a foot in the door. And I'm very thankful again that I was willing to listen to other people, for advice, and that I had some really good mentors in my early days. My first mentor at that company saw me studying for my LSAT, and he was an attorney, and he told me, "Oh, you don't want to go to law school. You're going to wind up being an ambulance chaser here in Florida." And he told me that he had his law degree, but he had learned technology and marketing, and he set me down that path. And I went on to go get my MBA in marketing, and ultimately grew up within a large technology organization at CA Technologies. And ironically enough, the CEO of the company, the first tech company I ever worked for, after 17 years, was Norm Worthington, who is the chairman of the board for Sangoma and was the CEO and founder of Star to Star. So I'm glad I didn't burn any bridges when I was 20 years old and I took that first job when they came to me to look for a new chief marketing officer back in 2013. And then obviously taking Star to Star on its journey through it to its exit. Just, super, super thankful that I had those types of mentors in my life. And again, serendipitous, but also I was always focused on how do I help them achieve their goals. And they thankfully poured back into me for having done that.
Yeah, that's amazing because you have so much to give, and I think it's clearly obvious that you have a lot of value, and you are living a life of significance, and you've touched a lot of people. Everyone I talk to at Sangoma, they all appreciate you. So
I love my Sangoma brethren. Logically is a great partner of Sangoma's, and it's a great team there. So I'm glad to see how that continues to grow. I'm really proud of everyone in that, and looking forward to what the future brings.
yeah, absolutely. That brings me to the end of our conversation here, which I have just two more questions for you. So I'd love to know, as I said at the beginning of the video, a lot more about Logically. Can you tell us about Logically, their services, and what the company's about?
Sure. Well, as I mentioned earlier, we're a large national managed services provider that has a focus on not only traditional IT remote support, but also security. So we're one of the few managed service providers that has its own U.S. based managed SOC. So we can help you with all of your cybersecurity needs, pen testing, etc. And then in terms of helping customers make their cloud transformation, whether that's to public cloud or to private cloud. We can help facilitate all of those things, your Microsoft licensing, as well as helping, again, as I mentioned before, we're great partners with Sangoma. So we can help our customers save money on their unified communications and ISP needs. And we do free audits to help ensure that you're getting the best productivity solutions and at the very best cost. So those are all areas that people can call on Logically for.
Excellent. Love that. Thank you so much. And lastly, Michelle, if I could ask you for some closing words of wisdom.
Well, my closing words of wisdom are always be of service to others. When you put your life in service to others, you will be amazed at how many opportunities come your way, and look at things with optimism. The story you tell yourself is the story you will live. So take that advice and tell yourself a good story around what the future can hold and start executing to it.
I love that.
Because if you can visualize where you want to go, it's easier to take the path there. If you visualize a negative place, that's where you're going to go. So if you can tell yourself that positive story of how you're getting there and just take the steps, and obstacles will come, but again, reframe how you think about those obstacles, and I can promise you it will lead you to a life of significance.
Love it. Thank you so much, Michelle. Really appreciate you joining. Appreciate your time, and it's always wonderful to have an opportunity to talk to you. It's a real honor. Thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you. It's my honor.